practicing that brain chemistry exercise like you're doing when you're not in a situation where you need it.
Yeah.
That's the key. All right, so first up today, we have Harriet, and Harriet is in the room. Hi, Harriet.
Hello, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm actually doing great.
Yay. All right. And so I know you put a little note on the form that you would like help with using the beginner's exercise that we also call the brain chemistry exercise.
Yeah.
And you were saying that you can imagine the color. It said you're having a hard time getting into the feeling of it, and it takes some time to happen.
Sometimes, yeah. An example, actually, this morning, I had to go to the doctor for my annual, and of course, they checked my blood pressure. So she said to me, just go into your happy place. And sometimes I believe I just put pressure on myself that you do it right now. And yeah, it doesn't work so well. I can't imagine the color, and then I imagine my dog's cute face, and then it's like zoom, 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 in and out and in and out. I don't seem to be able to stay in it. Right now I think I don't have a problem at all, but when it's more needed.
Okay, so that's great. So thank you for the question, and you're not alone. This is something that a lot of people have a challenge with. And here's the thing to remember, because it's all physiological and this is all about chemicals, and stress chemicals are stronger than feel-good chemicals. So when we're doing the brain chemistry exercise, we're wanting to produce those feel-good chemicals that, of course, feel good. However, when something triggers negative emotions or stress chemicals, those stress chemicals are stronger. So they will override the feel-good chemicals if we let them, kind of thing. So it's like if you are learning to ride a bicycle, you're okay if all being well, but if there's wind, for example, and you're not an experienced rider, you'll probably overbalance. And then you have those people who do the long bicycle things, triathlons and things, and they're really strong. And they can keep going regardless of what the weather's doing and all of that, right? But as a beginner and intermediate, it's really difficult and you can't always do it. And this is the same. So in order to get to that stage of the triathlon people, one has to spend a lot of time in practice riding the bike when all things are good, when the weather is calm, and when its visibility is good and there's not a lot of wind and the road is smooth, all of that, to get really comfortable, build those muscles, build those neural networks, all of that, so that then when they start going into more challenging terrain, you've got a little bit more skill built and more, your physiology has changed enough. And this is the same. So practicing that brain chemistry exercise like you're doing when you're not in a situation where you need it, that's the key. And then when you go into it,
just thought it's also a performance thing. I better perform. So, and that is something that I just thought I have to work on. You know, there are things that all of a sudden pop up and, yeah, okay.
That's it, exactly. Yep. That's spot on, Harriet. And that's going to be your childhood stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a place to look, that feeling of you better get it right or you better perform.
Yeah.
Find out what references, memories are there from childhood and change them to the opposite positive empowerment. Yeah. Very good. And that will change that reference, that program.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then, of course, in addition to that, be practicing the Superpower, the brain chemistry exercise, the beginner's exercise, when you're just feeling good, to really keep developing that skill.
Yes. And that's easy because then I don't have to fix anything. I don't have to perform. I just do it for fun.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's exactly what you need. And then there comes a tipping point where you've been doing it so much when it's easy. You've been doing it so much that you'll find yourself going into it automatically when something starts to go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
because your brain will have made that link between thinking of something and then producing those feel-good chemicals. And it'll be so used to that that it then does it automatically, like any habit as well.
And I have one other quick question, please. Sometimes when I change a childhood memory, all of a sudden, all these other things pop up in my head. Is it okay to say, I'm going to deal with you later? Right now, I deal with this?
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
otherwise, I would just go bonkers.
Absolutely. That's exactly what to do. So you don't want to be ignoring or pushing away. You want to acknowledge and answer. And you could even write it down. If your brain goes, oh, but what if I forget? Just make a note for yourself. Oh, that one, I'll come back to later. Because then your brain goes, okay, I don't need to keep focusing on it because there's a plan. Now I can focus on something else.
And you just said acknowledging it. That's, I think, a step that I might not have done. So, okay, I got you. That's plenty, right? I see you right there. I'm going to deal with you. Okay, good. Good.
Yeah. And you could think of it, like being in customer service or something, and you've got a queue of people and somebody comes up to the counter, but you're dealing with something else. You would acknowledge and you say, oh, I'll be right with you. One moment, please.
Yeah.
You deal with what you're doing and then you come back to that kind of attitude.
Perfect. All good.
Very good. Thank you, Harriet. Thank you for your questions. Good job.